brand new AEW TNT champion.
You are damn skippy, we do.
I was so fucking wrong last week when I said Guevara will beat him, but he won't beat him this week.
I was thoroughly shocked. I mean, I'm sitting downstairs and just boom, right off the bat. I thought there was the delay. He was going for the 6:30. I thought that we were just going to see the knees come up and Miro get a nice roll up on it or roll into something. But no, hey, props to Sammy for picking that title up. But this does tell me that Miro is just going to end up winning that ladder match next week.
Oh, fuck. I didn't even think that they're going to put him in that because they didn't announce anyone.
Nope. But I think he'll win it now. Now that this happened.
Yeah, now that this happened, I think he's going to win it. But welcome, everyone, to your weekly wrestling podcast. We are on a forklift. We love you, Judy. My name is Clinton Davis. To my left over here is Ethan Hubbard. We're two best friends, a stoner and a drunk, who like to just get fucked up and talk about wrestling after what we believe is the best weekly wrestling television show. We've got a little bit to cover. We don't have to cover Rampage because we covered that with Russ this past Monday, which, thank you to anyone who tuned into that. We were not expecting it to go 3 pissing hours, but it did, and there's nothing really we can do about that. Russ kind of came over and took over, and we're definitely going to have Russ back soon.
Yeah, and I'm not upset about that. That was a good chat. That was a fun time. I mean, we did have a lot to cover anyway. We had 5 hours of wrestling, and we did it in 3 hours, and we covered most of the preseason of the NHL, so I think that was relatively impressive.
Watching that whole podcast back, because, I get self-conscious and want to hear what we sound like to see what the people hear, and goddamn, we talked about Extreme Rules for about 7 minutes out of that 3-hour podcast. We talked about Dynamite and Rampage not stop, and we talked about hockey for a solid 45 minutes.
I'm not upset about it. I love hockey, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got some problems with Russ now that he's got problems with me liking Boston. He can go fuck himself on that aspect. But other than that, I loved having Russ on. Russ was great. He was a great insight to because I've never been to a major wrestling pay-per-view like that. The biggest show I've ever been to was Hell in a Cell with LT and Tony. And LT having the pretty much the I'm gonna fucking shit myself because I'm so scared for Shane McMahon's safety all night was pretty funny.
I thought you were going to talk about his heel turn on Charlotte.
No. That's kind of like a dude thing. But
don't meet your heroes, kids.
Don't meet your. Oh fuck! I can't say that. Every single wrestler I've met that I love is awesome.
That is
DDP, Adam Cole, fucking Johnny Wrestling.
quick side bit. We went to NXT. We went to an NXT event six years ago.
It was when Bayley was NXT champion. That's how long ago this was.
So anyway, we went to an NXT event about 5 or 6 years ago, and we are sitting. It's at Royal Oak, so at the venue there, the stage that the bands generally play on, the ring is up next to it. It's butted up next to it. We were supposed to have front row tickets. We ended up being in the second row. Had a great time. That's where the "Oh Bayley, you" chants were started, and then also Elias was wearing some Affliction jeans and got mercilessly ran out of the building for that. Ty Dillinger also got injured there. Sean Spears, whatever you want to call him at the time.
Hey Lyle, welcome to the chat.
My favorite part of the entire event is before anything started, we looked down at the end of the row. Clinton here goes, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. It's slapping me. He's doing that. He looks down and I was like, what? He goes, that's Candice LeRae. So I was like, holy shit, it is Candice LeRae. He goes, what do I do? He's like, I'm gonna go ask her for a picture. So he goes down, very politely talks to her because she was not wrestling on this event. She was there for Johnny Gargano.
Mm-hmm.
She's not wrestling on the event. She's there with a friend. He walks in and he says, hey, my name's Clinton. I'm a huge fan of you. I loved when you took on the Young Bucks single-handedly and won the PWG tag titles.
Thanks for retconning that story.
Is it cool if I get a picture with you. And she says, of course, because she's a sweetheart, like just an absolutely sweetheart of a person. So she says, of course. Clinton goes to take the picture. He walks back, hands me the phone. I'm sitting in the chair, and Candice LeRae looks at me and goes, "Oh no, if I have to stand up, you have to stand up." And I don't think I've stood up out of a chair quicker than that.
It's a respect thing.
It's a respect, and it's a terror thing. She is absolutely terrifying for somebody who is 5'0". But she was an absolute sweetheart, and that was a blast of a time. That's one of many.
I know the photo shit, but I was super fat in that photo. I'm glad they can't see it all that well.
I'll share it on the Twitter page sometime. Which, by the way, we are at On a Forklift Pod.
Yeah, let me add that to this. Fuck, because I'm done and I forgot that. Is it just On a Forklift?
On a Forklift Pod. Because apparently some bastard already took On a Forklift.
Well, there you go. We have an official Twitter account. We also have a Discord. I'll have to figure out a way to share that because currently we are using Discord to live stream.
That is true.
Yeah, but this is just temporary. I found a new fix for us. We're going to be having a new home effective October 10th. So let me see when the next upcoming October 10th. So that would be the Dynamite review on the 13th. We will have a new look. We will have new everything. It'll look more professional. Like I've said in the beginning, this is more of a beta test for us and a reason for us to hang out for an hour and a half every Wednesday.
I even found my real microphone. I don't know where the cord's at for it, but I did find my microphone.
I'm actually ordering a new one, and I was just going to give you this one. I found more of a better production. Okay, so E's going to walk away for a second to go grab his mic. Oh, here it is. He's got a white snowball instead of my black snowball. Okay.
A legitimate snowball, and not the kind that gets spit back into your mouth.
Well,
I have stumped him already. We are less than 10 minutes into the show.
I was going to say I have another arm mount kit here for you if you want it. You can go fuck yourself at this point, clerks. Christ.
Oh, man, Scott Mosier is never going to live that down.
Oh, my God. So we have fucking Dynamite. Thanks, prick. Dynamite was a damn good show tonight. A solid Dynamite after... in fact, the only complaint I had going into the show was that Cody was on the show, but that got fixed real quick.
I have but regardless of the post match things that fixed that, I got a lot of good things to say about that match.
I do too. I used the first half of it, Cody's entrance in the first 2 minutes to shower before we came on here because I was changing my oil with Trevor today, and. Yeah, so I figured I would use that as my shower break match, and I got back, and I was like, oh, shit, it was not the Cody show.
No, it's fantastic. But we'll go through the rundown.
No, we don't have to go. I like the whole thing we did last week. We just talk about whatever we want to on the show. We don't have to do a full rundown.
On the Cody match, then.
We can start on the Cody match. Yeah, like I said.
Dante Martin. Holy shit. I am a little peeved that this match had to go to picture in picture at the time that it did, because if you were not paying attention, if you kind of spaced out, whatever it was, everything he did during the picture in picture. Go back, watch it, or watch it on the replay if you have an option to do that on Hulu, whatever you have. This dude you have the whole Ricochet thing of, the man that gravity forgot. No, bullshit. That's Dante Martin.
That's Pac, first off.
Okay, Pac, whatever.
No, your nicknames.
Fight me. He's a bastard now. Gravity remembered him. It's holding him to the ground, mostly because of his massive Johnson.
Fair. Yeah, okay.
So, what I thought was great about this is you came out, you had two elder statesmen, and Cody and Matt Sydal, who, no offense to either one, no offense to Matt Sydal, I don't want to see you on my TV. I don't really care. I'm done with the Matt Sydal thing. He was there to establish some level of star power in AEW, then he slipped off a top rope, and he's been a joke ever since. Once you do that in your debut, you're just that Shockmaster level of bullshit. But I understand why they were there. What really delved this down, though, were the two gentlemen that were accompanying him. Tagging with them were Dante Martin tagging with Matt Sydal. I'm not sure where Dante's brother is. I don't know
He's
if
still
he's
injured.
injured.
He's still
Okay,
injured.
great. And then Lee Johnson, who was tagging with Cody and who did ultimately get the win. Give me Lee Johnson and Dante Martin for 12 minutes, and you will have one of the best matches on your card every night. They have very they have very complementary styles, and those two guys have a bright future ahead of them.
Yeah, because Lee Johnson's a good worker, and I'm glad he actually got the pinfall over. Was it Dante he got the pinfall over?
Yep, he got the pinfall over Dante, but man, that is one devastating neck breaker. His finisher.
Oh yeah, the fucking leg hook neck breaker, fucking brain buster on the kneecap, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it fucked.
And Dante, when he takes that move, because I've seen other people take it and they don't get as straight up and down. Dante almost takes that thing like a jackknife.
He's an incredible seller.
Man, he was good. But withstanding the Cody entrance, the end of this match,
buddy.
The post-match segment, man. Well,
Arn Anderson with a babyface promo of the year.
Apparently, Arn Anderson does not do well in traffic stops.
No,
that's all I'm saying.
No.
If you see him, if you see Arn Anderson pull up next to you in a rental car, fucking speed away.
No,
just get away.
Get the fuck away. My God.
Because he's packing heat. I was thinking he was gonna say, "Oh no, I'm gonna step out of the car and I'm gonna lay a spine buster onto the hood." No, Arn coming with the GAT references.
He was just like straight up, just like, you pull the trigger, bam, bam, like right in Cody's face. I'm just like, I know this is a TV-14 show, but there's fucking kids in the audience, and you have fucking Arn Anderson going straight Gangster's Paradise all over Cody's ass, burying him.
He has more than one hood bone in his mouth.
Oh my God, Arn Anderson buried him into the ground because Russ,
Lee, at least you listen to me.
Yeah, like Russ said on Monday, like, I don't need to see Cody on my TV for a while. I don't. I'm gonna have to watch him because I'm probably gonna watch this fucking reality show he's in because it looks good. Like, I don't need to see him anymore until this season of his TV show is over. Honest to God. And if they're building towards another Malachi Black versus Cody match at Full Gear, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Because I want Malachi as far away from Cody as humanly possible. The next person we all talked about was Darby for Malachi to go after, and it looks like we're getting MJF and Darby after tonight. Oh, chef's kiss, yeah, but we'll get back to that. But I don't care to see Cody versus anyone right now, let alone a third match with Malachi Black, because he has nothing to gain from it. If he beats Malachi, that hurts Malachi. If he loses, it does absolutely nothing for no one. You can move Malachi on now.
The only way that I want to see Cody on my TV, and it's not that I want to see him, but if you were to put him in a program against said Nightmare Family people, or have some form of, he's trying to find somebody to team with, he's trying to find somebody to re-instill some confidence in him, and that's what you go with, like you continue on, you work towards that. If that's not the case, if that doesn't happen, then I don't care. I don't really have a point to see him anyway. Like Ross said, I didn't really put it to that level yet, but he doesn't fit.
This sounds so dumb, but you got to do some like WWE level booking. Like, you're gonna have to pair Cody up with Dustin for a little while because Dustin's over like Rover, and no one's gonna boo Dustin. But maybe they could use Dustin to get Cody back over, or they just need to fucking turn him heel.
Yeah.
They need to turn him heel, and he needs to start going over, like, over baby faces. Like, at that point, yeah, then I want to see Cody versus, like, Jungle Boy, and Cody versus, Dante Martin in a singles match. A heel Cody versus Dante. Oh. But a face Cody, boring as shit. Have no interest in seeing him anymore whatsoever.
You know what it is?
What?
You know what it is? Short of the fact that he's lacking the charisma of person's later years as a face, he is the Randy Orton of AEW. There is no interest in this guy when he's a face or when he has a title. There is zero interest in it. Withstanding a tag team title run.
No, because I'll say this: him in the TNT title, that was must-see TV every single week. Because he was like, granted,
you didn't know who you were getting out though.
It was during the pandemic,
but it gave us
it gave us matches with Ricky Stark and Eddie Kingston and Warhorse and the fucking squash match with Brody Lee, which. What a beautiful celebration. They didn't have to do much for Brody Lee tonight, but they did enough. Like, they didn't make the whole show about him. They made two big segments about Brody Lee tonight. But I feel like Cody just being on the show was just like, hey, you guys remember when Brody Lee squashed this motherfucker? Because I feel that's all Cody brought to the table tonight, outside of Arn Anderson burying him into the fucking ground with that promo.
Yep.
Like, Arn Anderson's like, you're dumb, like for fucking checking on me during the match. What the fuck's wrong with you? You should have finished him off. That was your problem. And yeah, everything Arn said tonight was absolutely right. Let me see if I can pull up a transcript of what he said, because I smoke a lot of weed when I watch wrestling. Yeah. Arn talked him down and told him to stop talking, which I popped super hard when Arn told him to shut up, because he was saying what we were all thinking. He said that Black has systematically destroyed every single one of them. He told Cody that he should have finished the fight. He got a metaphor about Cody being too passive. Arn's not going to coach a loser. So this looks like the breakup of Arn Anderson and Cody Rhodes. Which
it does.
Which good, because I don't care. I don't care about Cody. Get Arn as far away from him as possible. Go ahead and talk about something real quick while I go get some water, because I forgot to refill this shit before we started.
Oh my goodness. And that's about all there is to be said about that segment. And so to touch on a couple other things we did have in regards to a trios match, we had Darby Allin and Sting, and Darby Allin with Sting at ringside, and Moxley and Kingston came out. They were reversing Bear Country. This was about your typical just regular old trios match, trying to set up a trios division. There was not much to it. The guys you thought were going to win clearly won the match. And
but my spot of the night.
It was just a way to get Mox and Kingston on TV, because as you saw later, Darby ended up having another segment, which we'll probably cycle into next.
I love Anthony Gray. Anthony Green, I think that's what he's going by now, Anthony Green. I fucking love him. I have a nice story about him when I met him at Evolve. But him doing that whole thing where he just like prayed and then did the whole springboard crossbody and just bounced off Kingston and fucking Mox, that killed me. I loved it. I laughed so hard I about peed myself. But yeah, that was a nice quick 6-man tag. I was kind of nervous because they announced, I think, 6 matches tonight. Or like something of the sort.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. Moxley and Kingston and Allen get the pin after their exploder suplex clothesline combo, I think it is, or forearm.
I think this match went like 4.5 minutes, maybe 5 with intros. It was not long.
Maybe, but let me take a second here to put over Anthony Green, because I went to an Evolve show one time, and Ethan will attest to this. I love fanny packs. They are awesome. In fact, I believe...
Where's your Dare fanny
pack? It's in storage. I wasn't living here at the time when you guys gave it to me. I gotta find it. But I've got a Dare fanny pack, and it's awesome. I used it to keep my weed in, ironically. But I go to Evolve. I've never heard of Anthony Green before. He comes out with Brandi Lauren. Brandi Lauren was fantastic, too. Her and Shotzi had a really underrated feud in Evolve, which culminated in a really awesome death match, which you've probably seen the spot. It's Shotzi going through a whole bunch of chairs from a suicide dive. It's brutal. But I'm in the front row. I'm cheering for this guy. I'm like screaming, "I love your fanny pack," and I'm applauding him. And he just keeps looking at me like I'm being an asshole, which I'm a wrestling fan, so yeah, I'm kind of an asshole. But then he's doing the whole autograph sessions afterwards, and I go to meet up with him, and I was like, bro, I don't know if you thought I was like fucking with you or anything, but I genuinely love your fanny pack. Where the fuck did you get it? And he was just like, oh my god, dude, you know how many cities I go to and people are just saying it to make fun of me? I was like, no, I have like 3 of those things at home. They are so fucking convenient and awesome. And yeah, we sat there and talked for a minute, and then he gave me one of his pins. I've got it in my pin collection over here. But really down to earth dude. And he's a Dynamite wrestler, and he's funny because he made fun of his own release with WWE.
Nice pun. Dynamite wrestler.
Thanks. Didn't mean accidental pun.
Puns. Oh man.
There's nothing much to say about that. They're trying to establish a trios thing. We're gonna get like the Super Click and what I can only assume is gonna be the Hate Fuck Brigade, which is Darby Allin, Eddie Kingston, and Jon Moxley. I can't really like fucking Death Triangle, but you got the Lucha Bros, who are the tag team champions right now. The Wingmen?
I don't know. I'm hoping that when Greg comes back from
injury. Absolutely, when Greg comes back. But they can probably use Wheeler Yuta to fill in for now.
I love me some Wheeler Yuta. Really his pants. I mean, he's a great wrestler, but his pants.
Can you believe WWE looked at him and said, don't sign him, he's too small?
Mm-hmm. I can believe it. I can believe it because they do some really dumb shit.
Company full of vanilla midgets.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and funny enough, he's not even vanilla. As far as I know. Anyway, then we get into what is some of the harshest words I've ever heard on national cable television.
They really got to start putting up a censor that says the views of MJF do not reflect the views of AEW.
So MJF comes out. He got a promo. Darby's music hits. He comes out. MJF.
Well, hold on. Let's go over the promo first.
Okay.
He comes out and he talks about the original 4, the 4 pillars of the AEW community, like the AEW fucking roster. You have Jungle Boy, beat him. Sammy Guevara, because he says it all fucking weird, beat him. Darby Allin. And then me, MJF, which this company wouldn't have shit without me. And I deserve to be AEW champion. He called out Tony Khan, which then he said, you're one of the best cons in the business. You're definitely in my top 2, which made me laugh real hard. And he says he's got Bruce Pritchard on speed dial, which then at that point Darby Allin came out.
Hell of a reference to bring up both, to not name Nick Khan, but then to just drop Bruce Pritchard's name right off the get. That is just nobody writes his promos. He has to write his own, because when Darby comes out, the next thing that we heard was, that real school shooter mime on a skateboard vibe.
Holy me.
I sent Clint a message that said, "Holy fuck!" I cannot.
And I just went, which part?
I can't believe. Like, I can, but I'm like, so Max Caster gets in trouble for some shit he says, but then we've got MJF out here laying a lyrical.
To be fair,
I understand why.
To be fair, MJF said school shooting, didn't say anything about like Sandy Hook or anything like that.
I thought he was.
But Max Caster came out and referred to. I know, but Max Caster came out and referred to a woman's vagina who was ringside. So, 2 very different levels of offensive. One,
I thought he was this close to dropping some late '90s Colorado school names.
I think he's a very, very smart heel with his promos. He knows what he can get away with. Like, he knows he can get away with calling him a school shooting mime lookalike. But he couldn't go out there and call fucking Darby Allin Sandy Hook or something. Right.
He just, everything that he said, and then he breaks into Darby, which, bless him, and I was actually very surprised by this. He held up to the morals of a face, but like, really well, which is strange for Darby, just because of his past demeanor, the body bags, all that kind of stuff. He had this aura about him that said almost like an evolved aura, like, hey, I've been in the ring with Punk. I've had to go against him promo wise. I've grown as a character. And I thought that was nice. And then MJF just comes out of left field like, hey, you got into a car with your uncle while he was drunk. You crashed and he died. And the wrong man died. What the fuck, man? This is not Dewey Cox. The wrong kid died. That's not what's going on right now.
The wrong kid.
You just ruins a man's life like that. Which, by the way, when he made the straight edge comment, you knew immediately what was happening. Just CM Punk chants aplenty.
Because we're gonna get MJF versus CM Punk. It's gonna be wonderful. This is a match I'm conflicted on because this is gonna happen at Full Gear. They're gonna build to this to Full Gear. But both of them are coming off losses off the last pay-per-view. MJF to Jericho, Darby Allin to Punk.
I think the Darby to Punk one is less of a loss. I think this will be bigger. If Darby beats
on record-wise, because now I'm not saying it as character, but I'm saying like as a loss on the record, they both took an L, and they're both going to go into this pay-per-view both taking L's, to the point where whoever loses this match will lose some credibility. But then again, it's AEW's booking, and I've been wrong a bunch with them. Sorry. But let's talk about what...
Oh, no, you're fine. I just think going into this, we're going to have one issue, and it's going to get really fucked up. MJF's going to do something to Sting.
No. Wardlow's going to do something to Sting.
See, I don't think so. I think this is where you start to see that rift develop between those two. It's not gonna take full hold. Nothing's gonna take full hold, but something is going to happen. And it's just I don't like when people mess with Sting, and it's not me being a Sting stan, it's me being generally concerned for a 62-year-old man's health.
I was concerned with his first match. I'm not concerned anymore about Sting's health until he's taking shit to the outside. But yeah, do you have anything else to go on with that?
No.
Well, let's talk about what was the match of the night, in my opinion, and open the show. I know we're kind of going off track here, but we just needed to cover the MJF shit with Darby. Yeah, fucking that opening match, Jungle Boy and... Yeah, Jungle Boy and Adam Cole, round of applause. I hope this is just round one, because that match was great. And AEW's doing my favorite thing right now. They're opening with bangers, and they don't cut to commercial. Once again, this went through this whole match without cutting to commercial. We got the intros and everything, the John Huber shit. Then we got the intros, and then we got this entire match, and then we got the Elite's intro before they cut to commercial. I love that shit. Give me 20 minutes of nonstop action to start the show. Because, yeah, you had...
Total nonstop action?
Shut the fuck up, man. This ain't TNA.
Oh,
this ain't Testin Albert. This ain't Testin Albert, sir. But, I love that shit. I loved how Jungle Boy got him with the shoulder tackle and just looked down at him and went, yeah, bitch, sup. I love how Adam Cole legitimately looked worried most of the match, thinking he wasn't going to put Jungle Boy, because this is the match that Adam Cole's been talking about that he wanted the most when he came over to AEW. He's been saying, I want Jungle Boy. And he got Jungle Boy tonight. I hope, like I said, I hope it's round one. I hope it's round one.
These two, I don't want to say anything. 2 years down the road, this is going to be a world title match.
Mm-hmm.
100%. These two are, and that Panama Sunrise is going to get hit on the outside.
Ooh, boy, I was worried there for a minute on that one.
Yeah, not tonight, but it's going to happen. That's just going to happen.
Also, a big shout out to CM Punk on commentary. He does add something to it that I feel that only a professional wrestler can add. And it's insight of actually being inside the ring. Excalibur's got it down a little bit, but he's been retired for so long. Then again, so is CM Punk. But I think Excalibur's been retired more than Punk has.
He has, but the thing that I like with that, that you can tell with Excalibur as well, uh, you had somebody like Punk complimenting Excalibur on knowing things, and basically just like, hey, yeah, you know what? Hey, man, thanks for letting me know. Excalibur's that he does a really good job of coaching those guys without verbally coaching those guys.
Because he is the, like, I don't give a shit what anyone says. Excalibur is the best play-by-play commentator they got right now. Tony Schiavone's fun. JR, I think, is done. I think it's time to move on from JR. Like, I know a lot of people won't agree with me. You can still do them on pay-per-views and shit, like for certain matches, but
Yeah, let him be on pay-per-views, let him be backstage, like, that's fine. If
like,
you want to keep a presence of him, cool.
Yeah, but as a play-by-play commentator, I think he's just too far gone. Bring him out for the Sting matches. That'd be fun. I love hearing JR talk about Sting. You could have Tony Schiavone and JR just do the commentary for Sting matches. Or any kind of legend segment. But JR as a commentator for me is done. It's done, it's over with. There's
I like Schiavone being on TV more in a Mean Gene type role. He's not really, Mean Gene wasn't really much of an much of a play-by-play guy, but he was a pretty damn good interviewer, and I think that's really where Schiavone's niche is at.
Yeah, Tony Schiavone is a really good. I think Tony Schiavone is the second best person they got on there. I think it's better if you keep Excalibur and Schiavone together, and maybe, you know what? This might be a little controversial here. Either Veda Scott or Renee Young.
Give me Renee Paquette.
I think Renee, her no compete clause has got to be coming up. But I put her and Veda in the same category, but I feel like having a women's commentator on there would be great, because that's the one place AEW doesn't have any women established, is, let alone in any backstage roles, I barely see any women doing the interviews. Like, fucking put Renee Young or Veda Scott on the announce table. Both of them are...
Give me Quinn McKay. Call up Ring of Honor.
Fuck
Get her
yeah.
over here. Her and her bow tie.
Well, I don't think they're ever going to, like, I think with this Forbidden Door shit, I don't think anything's ever going to come from Ring of Honor, because I think they're going to be too butthurt about the fact that they funded All In, which essentially made their competition. God, you chew on ice so much. Makes me have to talk more. I need you to... I love you. But I fucking... like CM Punk on commentary, like going like, has anyone ever escaped from the snare trap? And he goes, no, it's only ever been broken up in team matches. Adam Cole didn't escape from the snare trap tonight. Jungle Boy got off of it to drag him back to the ring, which kept that true, because I was sitting there going like, no, people have broken out of it before. But no, it's always Jungle Boy like, oh, here, let me drag you back towards the center.
Oh, there was legitimate time during that. I was like, holy shit, he's going to tap him right here. This is going to happen. Like,
AEW does a real good job of that.
There was a very good, like, very convincing too, because I think you have a fine line between either being not believable or the submission going on so long that it starts to become not believable. The Anna Jay submission later in the night. You know what I'm saying? It's either they break out real quick, or they hold a choke for so long that you're like, reasonably that is not.
Yeah, like the Anna Jay, like they called that shit like 15 seconds after she got the choke in, which made it more believable.
Right.
But
right.
like
where you see people do that like an STF or any of that stuff in WWE. Why is the guy hanging out for 45 seconds?
Because he doesn't have the choke in right.
Oh, I know. You know that. But other people, you look at it and he's
got it underneath the chin. He's got to get it wrapped around the neck, not just hanging underneath here, because then you're just doing a neck crank, and you can sit. It's uncomfortable, but you can sit in a neck crank all day. You're gonna have scoliosis. I'm sorry. When it comes to submission-based wrestling, like in any of the promotions, that's like where I'm like the biggest critic on it. Like with the snare trap, I like that because he doesn't just trap one ankle; he traps both legs, and then you see him torquing on the neck. His looks believable to where my father John Cena only traps one leg, and he looks like he's just trying to give the guy a noogie.
Well, and he puts Ian when he crosses his arms.
He stretches his
right
arms out like that. Yeah, so he stretches his arms out and goes like this. So cool. My cat could like jump through my arms right now like a basketball hoop. That's how much gap there is. But
he might do it too. You never know.
He's laying right on the bed next to me. He's being cute and shit.
This is a nutcase.
He's gets the zoomies. He's been getting them late at night, and it's been keeping me up. That's why I look like this.
But if anybody that doesn't know, Clinton's cat is basically Shibata. It just headbutts a lot of people.
I named him Snickle Fritz, but after a week of having him, I should have named him Shibata, because every morning for a week, I woke up to not just like little head cuddling, like little nuzzles. No, this motherfucker whips headbutts. Like just doof, wake up. Like 5 a.m, and I just wake up and I'm like, cool, I really wanted CTE to start my fucking day. But I love you.
I need Kenta coming after you.
You're my homie. But yes, in the end, Adam Cole distracts the ref, hits a low blow, gets the last shot in for the win. The Elite come out and celebrate. Kenny gets on the microphone, talks about how they had the best match.
Whoa! You forgot about the world's greatest promo. Michael Nakazawa. I have nothing to say.
Which was legitimately the best thing he could have ever said.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. And them taking the mic away from Cutler.
Cutler's my favorite stooge in wrestling right now. He's such a dork, and I love it. He's the best at everything. Like I said, my dream match right now is him and Marco Stunt.
Oh, that's gonna happen.
100%. I don't care if it's on Dark.
It might be on Dark, but it's gonna happen.
No, but then we get Kenny on the mic. He's just like, people are calling it the greatest match in Dynamite history. Some are calling it the greatest match ever. No one's calling it that. But it is the best match in Dynamite history, in my opinion. But he gets on there and says all this shit. And he says, will there be a rematch? No. Danielson doesn't have a record. He is 0-1. There's no record. He has no chance of fighting me again. Out comes Danielson. He's got lyrics to his booty popping music now. That if he had it last week, I didn't notice.
You couldn't.
No, you couldn't, because that crowd was so fucking hot. God damn, I'm so jealous RJ got to be there. Sidetracked. Okay, but he comes out and he tells Kenny everyone wants a rematch. I want a rematch. You don't want a rematch. Maybe we should call you Kenny No Balls Omega. The whole crowd starts chanting No Balls, like Kenny No Balls. And they get
CM Punk's telling people it should be on a shirt.
Yeah. We already got Redeem These Nuts. We don't need Kenny No Balls on a fucking t-shirt.
Redeem These Nuts, though, that shirt, fantastic. The only thing that I wish differently with that shirt is I wish it was in the slap nuts style, but it just said Redeem These and then the nuts.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to do predictions for Full Gear, and the loser has to wear the slap nuts t-shirt every podcast until the next pay-per-view.
That's fine. I live with a tiny Jeff Jarrett. She's got that little pink guitar that she had. She's swinging that bitch.
Dude, she swung it at me this weekend. It fucking scared the shit out of me. I was just sitting on your couch, apparently looking all vulnerable and shit. And out comes a 2.5-year-old child with a fucking, what is it, a Frozen or a Moana guitar?
I have no idea what it is.
And she tries to crack me.
Frozen.
She tries to crack me in the fucking head with it. I was terrified.
No, El Kabong style. I call her Baba Louie after the little fucking churro thing from Quick Draw McGraw.
We're also going to do your wife's idea, but I'll talk about it later.
I was like, we're going to do my wife? Oh, great.
Fuck, sorry about that. I had waffles for dinner.
I thought you were going to say you had Waffle House. So I was going to be like, you prick. You drove to Ohio and got Waffle House without me? What the fuck?
You couldn't pay me to drive to Ohio.
I don't know if your car will make it to Ohio.
Got the oil change today. You and I are going to weld that shit down real quick because it scared the shit out of your wife when we went to the dispensary on Sunday.
Oh, no. We just need to put bushings in here. Anyway. So, yeah. Where are we at?
So, yeah, Bryan Danielson challenges any one of the members of the Elite. So, this week, we're going to get Nick Jackson versus Bryan Danielson on Rampage. Also on Rampage, we have a triple threat between Nyla Rose, Jade, and Thunder Rosa. That'll be a hoss fight. And then we've also got what's the other match? Oh yeah, Orange Cassidy versus Jack Evans and the hair versus hair bullshit, which I have absolutely no interest in.
And then we're getting a ladder match.
That's next week.
Oh, okay.
That's next week because next week is the 2-year anniversary of Dynamite.
Yep.
We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, so Brian says, I have not come alone. I have brought friends. Out comes Frankie Kazarian and a man, a boy, a dinosaur, and their Marco. And other than that, they all came out. The Elite ran off, and then we went right to commercial to get ready for shit we've already covered. We covered a lot of shit already in this podcast.
Yes, we have. We've actually been moving along pretty nicely, which is strange.
Yeah, we're just doing a little out of order just because, we talk about... we're all over the fucking place. But then we can talk about how AEW has a women's tag team. They have an actual women's fucking tag team now. In TJ.
Let's start with the match preceding that because the TJ thing moves into that.
The 16-man tag.
So we had a 16-man tag team match, which was essentially it was the Hardy Family Office versus the Dark Order with one Orange Cassidy. So that was pretty much it. It was that -1 came out, which was great.
Like, if you did not watch this, think in your head what it went like. That's exactly how it went.
Exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Midway during it, Evil Uno and Stu tried to
and Colt.
sashay and Colt. Colt's always been the conflicted one of that group. They tried to sashay up the ramp. TJ came out with -1 and Brody Lee's wife, Amanda, and was basically like, back in the ring. So they reconciled. Dark Order has allegedly reconciled their differences. -1 is wearing the Preston Vance mask, which is pretty cool. Number 5 also threw his mask at somebody, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think he wants to lose his mask, which is okay with me. He's got a pretty face.
Otherwise, I mean, that's kind of the gist of how that went. It wasn't anything super crazy. Johnny Hungy going absolutely
the best hot tag in the
45 seconds.
The Cesaro hot tag. That was awesome.
He destroyed everybody on that.
This is how my face looked that entire fucking his entire hot tag. It didn't change from this. And now my webcam.
He hot tagged and went immediately out of the ring and just cleaned house. And Johnny Hungy got the pin too, right?
Yeah, Hungy got the pin after his and Reynolds' finisher. And then, I just gotta say this, the Fatality might be my favorite finisher in wrestling. Like, that is a god tier tag team finisher. Fuck the 3D. That's better. A gory bomb into a fucking top rope cutter. A blockbuster cutter. Oh! Twist my fucking nipples. What a great move. And yeah, they let Johnny Hungy get the pin. I cried before the match even started because you could see fucking -1, his mouth under the mask. He was kind of like trying to keep his lips strong because he was sniffling and shit. And I was just like, God damn it. Like, I said at the beginning this episode was going to make me cry, and it fucking did. I love the Dark Order. I'm happy they got the win. I'm happy they reconciled.
And you know what? I'm happy that the predictions didn't happen.
Yeah, I'm glad Bray didn't come out. Or Wyndham, whatever we're going to call him.
Whatever name he debuts with, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm glad that didn't happen. I feel like that would have taken away from the reason that we all love it and why we were there to watch that. So I'm glad that didn't happen. This moves immediately into the TJ match.
My new favorite tag team. Although Ty Conti, out of all of them, is the best wrestler out of the 4 of them. She is,
and shockingly, that has come a long way because she was exceptionally green when we were watching her in NXT.
Mm-hmm. Remember going to live events and people calling her the piss break, and now people are keeping their asses in the seats for her. She is phenomenal, and I love the shit talking. No, I don't give a fuck
Oh,
about the ring gear. Like, no, it's her shit talking the entire time. You could just hear her screaming over the audience, just
you
fucking.
just want to be shit talked in a Brazilian accent. I think that's something that you're developing.
I just like being talked like shit to. I don't know, man, but like her just like, you want to go, bitch? You want to go? I'm just like, fuck her up. Yeah, fuck her up.
There's, oh man, so they get the win in this match. I don't even have to say anything else about.
Oh,
the
and
match
Ty Conti
itself.
with the fucking gory bomb into the fucking knee. Great move.
So we get right to the end of it. -1 comes out, and I think it was Tony or Excalibur. They go, "Oh yeah, -1 has built up a great relationship with Ty Conti, especially and Anna Jay." And CM Punk goes, "Smart kid."
No, my favorite. I texted you about it. I fucking love when CM Punk going like, can we agree that these are the better looking members of the Hardy family office? And then Excalibur, without missing a beat, Butcher. And yeah, the Butcher is just 10 out of 10. He is so fucking sexy.
Andy is one slab of man meat.
If we ever do a top 5 sexiest men in wrestling, it's going to be Roman Reigns and the Butcher fighting it for number 1. You're trying to think of someone else hotter than Roman Reigns. Who?
No, I was just going to say, I'm going to have to go see Every Time I Die when they come around, and purely for that reason.
Mm-hmm. I've seen them a couple times. They're a lot of fun. I saw them.
I mean, I wasn't planning to get this list. We can break this list down later or whenever you want, but no, I mean, he's a pretty good looking dude. Yeah, Reigns is a pretty good looking dude.
Reigns is dad energy. Ooh, fuck me raw. No, we started talking about how sexy men are, and we lost our entire audience.
Yeah. There we go.
Listen,
there they go.
Listen, men are attractive, women are attractive. It's okay to like it.
Y'all ever seen Ryan Reynolds?
Fuck me raw. Okay. But yeah. Anna Jay's got a really good rear naked chokehold. What move did she do into the rear naked choke? What move she used to set that up? Let me see. Because she hits the dangerous kick. Okay. Yeah, that dangerous kick right into the rear naked. Fantastic. Keep doing it. It's phenomenal. Anything else to add to that, my friend?
Jungle Boy is teaching her a lot.
Yeah, I believe she's working with Jungle Boy, and Jungle Boy is a 5-star wrestler. He is a 5-star man.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Speaking of good-looking dudes, Jungle Boy.
Mm-hmm. He's very cute. He's very handsome.
Looks a lot like his dad. R.I.P.
Oh man, that photo will always get me. The PWG event where he's on like the top rope and you can see Luke up in the the rafters, like just screaming for him, holding his teeth. Fuck. So they announced we've already talked about the lineup for Rampage. Next week is the 2-year anniversary edition of Dynamite, and they've actually announced a couple big matches. We have the Elite. The first time it's going to be Kenny Omega, Adam Cole, and the Young Bucks taking on Bryan Danielson, Christian Cage, and Jurassic Express. We also have Shida going for her 50th win. I can't remember the last time I've seen Shida on Dynamite. And then she's getting a banger-ass match with Serena Deeb. That's going to fucking slap. And then we have a surprise casino ladder match next week where the winner gets a guaranteed title opportunity at the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And then at the beginning of the podcast, we already said it, we have a new TNT champion tonight. Someone beat Miro. Mm-hmm. Was it too early?
Someone.
Was it too early?
I don't know. It could have been.
I think so.
Someone is Sammy Guevara.
I think Sammy Guevara is going to be a great TNT champion. I think that celebration next week's going to be awesome. But
shit, he's got to buy Fuego a car. What is he going to buy him?
1997 Skyline from Fast and Furious.
Dude, I don't think he's going that baller on the car. Plus, Fuego's going to move his kids around in it, and that's a 2-door.
Did y'all have Rose to the Top on Bobby Fish versus Sammy Guevara next week?
What?
What?
No, we
Holy
do this so we don't have
shit.
to watch it. Your uncle dad is going to wrestle Guevara next week?
What? That's a big announcement. Thank you so much, Admit, for the information. We appreciate that because I was going to watch it tomorrow, but holy shit. Yeah, they put Tony interview with Sammy on the middle of the show. That's fucking awesome. Bobby Fish versus Sammy Guevara is going to slap harder than my dad ever fucking did.
Here's the problem with this. Now, if they're going to continue to do this where they put interviews in the middle of it, they're going to make me watch that show. And not, like, later. I'm going to have to have it on simulcast while we're doing this.
Fuck that, because I don't want to have to listen to Cody talk while I'm trying to listen to you. I'm already annoyed listening to you.
I turn the volume off and I put subtitles on.
Oh, my fucking
You already know we
God.
watch everything with subtitles on. So that's just how it rolls, because my wife's deaf and my kid is just loud.
Yeah, it's gonna suck because then we'd have to push our review back to 11:05 to watch this shit.
Which is not happening. You know what though? It might not be fair that they have you for 3 hours, but even though you got to look at Brandy and Cody for an extra hour, I'm sure it's more entertaining than that third hour of Raw.
Yeah, because let me tell you, man, we watched the first we all started our podcast on Monday, a half hour after 8, because we wanted to see Big E versus Bobby, and I should have known going into it wasn't going to be a clean finish. It was dirty as fuck, to the point where they said
we did get to see the Hurt Business come back. So that's
Hurt Business coming back is great. I'm super stoked about that. They should never have broken them up to begin with, whatsoever. Hurt Business being back is awesome. Fuck, we finished the Dynamite review. If anyone's got any questions in the chat or shit we want to cover, because we can just talk about random bullshit before we go into our top 5 list for the day, which we were going to do because we heard the rumors that Bray Wyatt was coming back tonight. We were going to do our top 5 debuts. So that's what we're doing, is we're counting down it's not the top 5 of all time, it's what we believe. I will say about half the show is backstage interviews with other wrestlers, and that part is cool. Then it'll at least be watchable if it has other wrestlers in it.
Yeah, we don't have to get 45 minutes of the Bellas trying to pick out what shoes they want to wear that day.
No, and absolutely Bray and Kevin Owens seem imminent. I think we're going to get Kevin Owens at that point it'll be Kevin Steen. I think we're going to get Kevin Steen at Double or Nothing 2022.
Yes.
Because his contract will expire in January. He'll have his 90-day no-compete clause.
No, he won't, because his contract runs out.
Oh,
unless he gets released, his contract's out Revolution.
He can do Revolution then. He might come back at Revolution.
Oh yeah. And we would get hopefully, in my opinion, we would get the I'm a piece of shit and I respect pieces of shit like you.
What if hear me out.
I'm all ears, sir.
What if on fucking at Revolution we're not going to get an AEW world title match? Because they're going to fucking do the whole they're going to wait for Hangman. I know they are. What if they're doing a blood and guts match between the Elite, and then we got fucking Bryan Danielson, Christian Cage, and Jurassic Express? You can throw the fucking 2 goons in there too. You can even throw fucking Marco Stunt and Brandon Cutler in there for comedy relief. But Kevin Steen comes out and helps the Elite win at the end of Revolution.
When somebody dial this up, when is Sammy's contract up?
Roughly around the same time, honestly.
Because then we get El Generico on the other side.
Ole. No, fuck.
That happens. I'm buying an El Generico mask and I'm doing the show in an
I want El Generico and Kevin Steen to be a team. We can have the feud eventually, but I want Steen and Generico as a team when they show up. If that means they both have to be heel, so be it. You could do the whole El Generico eats children and we should not cheer him.
He burned down his own orphanage to come back to wrestling.
Do you guys think Cody expects all the boos? Last week, no. Last week, no. This week, yes. He's not. The only thing that he can do at this point is turn himself heel. Yeah, exactly. If he doesn't turn heel, like, there's nothing for him anymore. He has ran his course as a babyface in AEW. Really, for me, he's ran his course, period. Like, he's got the reality show now. He's got the the talent show he does. Like, I don't need him on my TV. I really don't. Cody can go away for a while. Malachi Black should have been writing Cody off TV for a long time. At least for the rest of the year. Like, you should have done something like that.
Clearly, all he has to do is carjack Arn, and it'll write himself off TV.
But I think they've got the WWE mentality of, we can't turn this guy heel. It might affect ratings for his TV show.
I think only he has that idea. I'm not sure the rest of the company does, but that's where you start to wonder how, the booking level. What do they have their hands into? How far in it, can Tony overrule certain parts of his booking? Everything that Cody's ever done has always seemed separate from the rest of what's going on in the company. Yep. And so it makes it a little hard to determine that. To me, it means that, well, Cody's got booking power over his matches.
Which is bullshit.
Right, I agree. It should be what's best for the company, not what's best for the individual person. What's best for the company is he disappears for a while.
Yeah. I like this comment here. Admit keeping the heat going. I want him to lose everything and take on the Elite and lose, and then maybe join under MJF. Yeah, go full fucking dark side. Have him join under MJF and just realize that MJF was right this whole time. Fuck it. But Cody needs to be a heel. He's not doing anything for me as a babyface. He's got Triple H 2007 written all over him as a babyface. Not one I want to see or care to see.
And not the DX revived early 2007 Triple H.
No, like garbage Triple H. The Triple H that would have lost the ratings war. Let's be real here.
Mm-hmm.
But we're about an hour in, so we're going to go
I'm going to fire up that list.
We're going to fire up that list, and since you picked the list this week, guess who's starting with theirs?
Me?
Yeah.
All right, so this week for our list, as we know, every week, bar for this last Monday, we do a list. Generally speaking, these are top 5 lists, and this week we have determined that we will do the top 5 debuts. Now, this can be the debut of a character from a wrestler who's previously been established. This can be a debut into a new promotion, or this can be the first ever time that we saw a character. I'm literally just going to start with my number 1. Maybe it's because I was a kid when it happened, and I don't care. Jericho debuting in WWE.
That's my number 1 too, you son of a bitch.
It was the coolest build-up to everything. Maybe it's because I was 8 years old. I don't know. But forever, that has been like the gold standard of how you do something. Because you had the people that were like, oh, what is it? What's going on? Y2K, where's the bug? Or it was just, we know who's coming, but let's just get it out of the way.
Also, everyone in the chat, please sound off with your favorite debuts or returns in the chat, because I'll read them out too, so that way we can get everyone on board with what we believe are some of the best returns or debuts in history.
Yeah, let's throw returns in here too.
Yeah, so this motherfucker wants to steal my number 1. I'll say one I guarantee he doesn't have on his list. Eric Bischoff in WWE was amazing. I have that listed as number 4. No one saw that coming. Everyone was expecting, he's going to put Shane and Stephanie in charge of Raw and SmackDown. No one saw Eric Bischoff coming out of that curtain and giving Vince McMahon a hug and then raising his arm and then being in charge of Raw for 5 fucking years. No one saw that coming. And to say that Eric Bischoff didn't have an effect on Monday Night Raw would be dumb, because my God, my favorite Survivor Series match of all time is Team Austin versus Team Bischoff. And that wouldn't have happened if Bischoff wasn't on Monday Night Raw. Go ahead with another one.
I'm going to stick on the debut side of this. I've got a couple of returns, but I'm going to stick on the debut side of this. My number 4 debut, which might be on yours, but I'm not sure. Once again, number 4 debut is going to be the Outsiders debuting in WCW.
Nope, not on mine.
It's a very impactful moment in professional wrestling, and basically changed the landscape of professional wrestling as we knew it. gone were the gimmicks and the characters of yesteryear. No longer were you hinged on gobbledygooker and Repo Man, but now there was a sense of realism. You saw these guys last week on the other show. What are they doing on this show? Why are their names different? What's going on? Why is it not Diesel? Why isn't it not Razor Ramon? No, it's Kevin Nash. It's Scott Hall. And that was just how it was built.
I gotta be 100% real with you. I didn't even think of anything WCW related.
Kind of just forgot all about WCW.
The entire Mall of America episode, which we'll touch on in a little bit.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm a little high. Okay, let's go here. Another one on my list. This is actually 3 debuts in one. It's The Shield. Yeah. Yeah, just put it right there in the bottom corner. Just like up, over a little bit. Nope, other way. Yeah, there we go. Boom, Shield. Yeah, The Shield. Never before has not since the NWO has a faction debuted and been so dominant for so fucking long. And then there's not only, like, every single person in that faction became a star. Every single one of them. They're all three still major stars to this day.
Head of the table.
There's the head of the table.
A drip god.
And then you have Moxley.
Yeah, I don't even have anything.
And any three of them at this point can make claim to being the biggest star in the world. Any one of them.
I think Reigns would have to be the one.
It's 100% Reigns, but I'm saying you can make a claim.
Hey man, there's nothing wrong with that. No, okay, so Adnet's on here. He says, I've only been a wrestling fan for a few years now, and I've only followed AEW since its inception. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But that is why we are here. We're here because we have a sick obsession with professional wrestling, and we want to be able to show you or bring you in and have different ideas of things for you to watch, things to grow, learn, go back on. There's 90 years of professional wrestling history that's been televised or has some kind of video capability to it for you to go back and watch. So if I say something about, hey, you should go watch this All Japan match from 1993, if that's something you like, guess what? There's 700 hours of All Japan wrestling that you can watch from the 90s that's available on IWTV or any other streaming source. There's nothing wrong because there's always a starting point to get into it at. And fortunately for you, you got into wrestling at a starting point of phenomenal, like, capabilities. That's just awesome. Like you're in one of the best times we've ever had in professional wrestling. This in 1994 to 1996 are probably the two biggest moments of professional wrestling. Sort of a 2002 moment that I would like to speak upon is my next number. The debut of one Jonathan Anthony Felix Cena accepting Kurt Angle's open challenge with ruthless aggression.
What a great pick. What a great pick. Picking my dad.
I know.
What a guy.
Once in a while.
What a guy.
From West Newbury, Massachusetts.
What a fucking debut, too, man. Coming out and just getting right in Kurt Angle's fucking face.
That was legend making. That's legitimately legend making.
Yeah, and almost, didn't really... It just goes to show you can have an impactful debut, mud around the mid-card for 2 years, and then suddenly you're the biggest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah, you could face Big Show at WrestleMania 20 for the U.S. title.
On a card that no one talks about anymore for obvious fucking reasons.
Yeah, a little bit of a cringy card on that one.
Mm-hmm. So let me see here. My first show was the FGC tournament CEO when they did a New Japan show that Kenny booked, which I loved. And then AEW was like some pipe dream. But continue your segment. I still love learning about wrestling history. Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate you just being here and just listening to us talk. And yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that about wrestling, we're here to answer them just because, well, it's what we do. It's what's kept us together for so long.
It's held us together through the pandemic, truthfully. It's kind of weird, but...
Yeah,
what it was. That, and he's been playing a lot of SmackDown. Shut your mouth. Know your role. Bring the pain. Doesn't really
yeah.
matter. Any of those.
Some Def Jam, Fight for New York. Yeah.
You have a sick
Anyways,
obsession with that game.
dude, I don't know what it is.
You want to talk? You want to tell people about Martha Stewart being the boss?
Listen, guys. It's easy. It's fucking easy. All right, we redo Def Jam. It's new hip hop versus old school hip hop. I don't know anything about new hip hop, so I'm just gonna assume Drake. Drake is leading new hip hop, and then you have Snoop Dogg leading old hip hop. So there we go. There's your faction wars right there. No matter which faction you pick, you fight both of them, you get to the end. And no matter what happens, you either fight Drake or Snoop Dogg. Whoever you beat, the other one goes like, yeah, but there's one above us. And then out comes Martha fucking Stewart as the final god boss of this game. She's unbeatable. Even if you try, like, it's Dark Souls levels difficulties of bullshit we're talking here.
Well, like fighting the guy at City Walk in Fractured Butthole.
You mean fighting Morgan Freeman?
Oh yeah. That was it.
You-
It's fighting Morgan Freeman at Shitty Walk.
Dumbass. Anyways,
Well, you fight the owner earlier in the game, don't you?
I don't know. No, you do fight the City Walk guy, but that's during the Mongolians
Oh,
thing when you're climbing the tower.
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that one might be Stick of Truth.
Either one.
Okay.
I need to go back and play Stick of Truth.
Yeah. So another person I have on my list doesn't get talked about enough. Kevin Owens on the main roster came out to accept John Cena's U.S. title open challenge. Told him he could take his open challenge and shove it up his ass. My name's Kevin Owens, and I'm the NXT champion. And then he laid John Cena the fuck out, stepped on the U.S. title, holding up the NXT title. What happened next? He beat John Cena clean in his first match on the main roster. We're not going to talk about the John Cena effect right now that happened afterwards, but his debut on the main roster was impactful. It showed that the NXT wrestlers weren't just going to be these mid-carders that showed up after they had a dominant reign. They were coming for blood. And you didn't start any hotter than going after John Cena. That's like when John Cena went after Kurt Angle. Talk about two debuts that play right off each other.
Talk about a third debut that plays right off of each other. It was on my list as well. Sami Zayn taking on John Cena.
Where he ripped his fucking shoulder out before he even started the match.
But a banger of the match, because he comes out, and if you've never seen Sammy do his old entrance, not the new conspiracy theory Sammy, but the two-stepping to the ska down to the ring, skanking Sammy, this man's arms look like he could be a stand-in for Bailey's old on-screen thing, the wacky waving inflatable flailing arm two-man setup, because it's just all over the place. Tore his actually, I can't remember if he tore his rotator cuff or he separated his shoulder, but he injured himself before the match. And then him and John Cena proceeded to have like a 17-minute long banger. Sammy lost, and then he went on IR for like 6 months after that. And it was really unfortunate. But he ended up back down at NXT trying to do a redemption line after that. It was, man, what could have been.
We can talk about the most recent debuts on my list, which was a three-peat because it's Punk, it's Bryan, and it's fucking Cole. Like, I'd group the three of them together because they all happened so quickly together, and they all had as much impact, but it's also recency bias. So I put all three of them grouped together at, like, my bottom spot. Because it's so recent. We don't know what these debuts are going to mean for this company years from now, but right now, in the now, they mean a lot. They mean a fucking lot.
I've my number one, which in an odd twist of fate, I have stuck primarily to WWE or NXT, is Shinsuke at TakeOver.
That was a good one.
Because just like you've seen the New Japan show there, the CEO event.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't had a chance to check out, this was not Austin. This was Houston, or was this Austin?
This was Houston.
Okay, yeah, it's the Houston TakeOver, and Shinsuke tears the house down. When that first strikes with Rising Sun, his theme.
It was fucking mint. I remember Kevin and I picked him up somewhere. He was drunk, and he was just like,
Side of the
"Bro,"
road, probably.
he was like, "Bro, do you have that Shinsuke theme on?" I was like, "Yeah, I was just listening to it." And we listened to that shit for the 30-minute drive home, nonstop. It's a fucking banger.
It's so good, and him and to tie it into the last one, Sami Zayn had one hell of a match. That was an absolutely fantastic match.
So, one little idea I have for the end of each show for like new people who are coming here, because we don't talk about matches that we love every single week. So, let's talk about a match that we each love that they can go back and watch. Like matches that made us fall in love with wrestling.
Oh, okay. I'm game.
You game?
I am 100% game with this.
I'll start. If you're new to wrestling, like you haven't seen any of it, what was that? Okay. I was hyped when the Tigers game was playing Shinsuke's theme. Fucking, you're in Detroit? We are too. You're Detroit? Who the fuck is this? Is this just a crazy random happenstance that someone from Detroit's in here?
Oh. Well, there you go.
Oh. I regret not being able to talk wrestling back in the day with you at Westland Mall. Clint, this is... Aaron! What up, homie? Holy shit. Oh, now people know where I used to work. Well... Let's throw out some matches here. I'll start. My number one match of all time. I don't shut up about it. It is Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon from King of the Ring 2001. From Kurt of the Ring. Because it should have been called Kurt of the Ring. Because he wrestled 3 goddamn times on that fucking card. And he had banger matches all 3 fucking times. But that street fight... Holy shit. You want to talk about a car crash. It starts with some collegiate wrestling. You know, Shane McMahon trying to show Kurt he can hang with him before they start breaking out the fucking weapons. And then, you know, you get what is... like, if you've never watched a wrestling clip show before, there's one scene from that match you will see on everyone that's, like, labeled extreme. And it's when Kurt Angle went to go give Shane McMahon the belly-to-belly over his head through the glass, and the glass didn't fucking break, and Shane spiked himself on his fucking head. And you know what Shane McMahon taught me that day, and Kurt Angle taught me that day, is if at first you don't succeed, try again, even if it fucking kills you. Because Shane McMahon was willing to fucking die that day to go through that glass. The first 2 didn't go through. And then he goes through. And then he tries it on the other glass. It didn't go through. And then Kurt Angle just gets fucking sick of it and yeets his ass out the fucking thing. Puts him on a fucking rolling cart to roll him in the ring to pin him for a 2. For a 2 count. Before Shane McMahon somehow, some way gets up and has a fiery comeback before Kurt Angle kills him with an angle slam from the top rope off of a piece of plywood. My God. It's my favorite match of all time. I fucking love it. When I look at matches, this is what they're graded on. Like, if this is like the Metzler scale of like 1 to 5 stars, this is a 10-star match for me. It's got everything I want in it. It's got enough blood before I feel sick from watching it like a Nick Gage match does. It's got the fucking technical wrestling that I love. It's got Kurt Angle, who, shock, surprise, or spoiler, when we get to a top 5 wrestlers of all time list, he'll be on mine for sure. But yeah.
Because of the dad moment when he was with the Shield?
No, it's just because God. Kurt Angle is a god. In fact, hold on. Go ahead and talk about yours.
Okay, well, actually, I don't know if I should do... I need you here for this because I have to decide which one to talk about. Do I talk about the big boy? Do I talk about the ultimate, my number one, or do I give one of my favorites, but it's a rather obscure one and a little bit hard to find?
You know, man, we're all about obscure here.
Okay, so I can't remember if it's Nitro, I can't remember if it's Thunder, but there is a match that is Rey Mysterio versus Ultimo Dragon.
Oh.
And anybody that knows anything about early 90s cruiserweight, WCW cruiserweights, it's chaos. Like, this is the cruiserweight division for WCW in the 90s had Juventud Guerrero, Ultimo Dragon, Rey Mysterio, Dean Malenko, Perry Saturn, Chris Benoit. There's like 100 guys in that division that floated in and out of it that came either through ECW, they came through New Japan, they came through All Japan, just literally AAA, CMLL, it doesn't matter. There's so many good cruiserweights that eventually or are still wrestling in the business. There's so many bangers of the matches, but one of the things that gets me into wrestling are masks and face paint. And so that match was just that was serotonin. Like, that was just a sheesh moment for me. I can't even tell you anything about the match because it's been probably 5 or 7 years since I've seen it. But all you need to know is that Ultimo Dragon has a badass, like, Jushin Thunder Liger style headset and gear and shit that he wears out. It's amazing because he wrestles in it. And Rey Mysterio, when he was about 23, was like Ricochet is now, just with less of the flippies. But like, speed wise, there is that. There's literally a bunch of those out there though. Super Crazy is another one. There's a match with Rey Mysterio and Super Crazy from WCW that's also really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Rey Mysterio is just really fucking good.
Yep. And then in WWE news this week, Big E defeated Bobby Lashley in a steel cage to retain the WWE title, which just makes me think that Bobby Lashley is going to be the one getting traded to SmackDown now because Drew McIntyre came out. I think we're getting Drew McIntyre versus Big E, which, okay. Roman Reigns beat Montez Ford in a wonderful match. If you're going to go out of your way to watch any of the matches from WWE this week, it's Montez Ford versus Roman Reigns. 100%. I didn't watch NXT this week. I heard I didn't miss much outside of the fact that Mandy Rose is going to be the next contender for the women's title.
I'm good with it.
I saw all the promo videos for the Index honeymoon. Those were funny and dumb, and I loved them. Fucking the whole pulling the condoms out and just going. I popped. I popped. Big E is better than Reigns. In the ring, yes. On the mic, no. Reigns is the best promo guy that they got in WWE right now.
So that's a weird thing though, because Big E just has this natural charisma that escapes Reigns. Reigns really has to try it. Big E can be. I don't know. Maybe I'm guilty about it, but he is a monster on the mic.
Now
for other reasons.
Are we talking about Big E's promos, or are we talking about Big E's hips? Because if we're talking Big E's hips versus Roman's promos, Big E's hips wins.
No, I'm talking Big E's promos, but also just him talking in general. He's a fantastic talker.
Yeah, no shit.
But when it gets serious, that's the difference.
Yeah, but I don't really know what we have going on SmackDown this week.
It's the draft.
Yeah, the draft. And Edge is coming back, which they're probably going to set up Edge versus Seth Rollins at Saudi Arabia, which I don't know about E. We probably are not going to cover because I don't want to cover some Saudi.
You'll get about, hey, this title change happened.
I'm literally gonna go on Wikipedia and read the results. That's about as much as we're gonna cover of that show.
It's Thursday at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I don't have any notion to watch it. I don't have Peacock downloaded on my phone, so I don't really have any need to. With that said, though, because the draft is Friday and Monday instead of Monday and Friday, that might not make much sense. But it is because Fox has the SmackDown contract, which means WWE gets more money from Fox than they do from USA. SmackDown is essentially the A show at this moment. therefore, they get night 1, Raw gets night 2 to round it off. We'll probably discuss that next week. What you're probably going to get is not a full in-depth rundown of all of the picks. You are going to get the big names that have moved from show to show. And I would assume that as a prediction to this, Alexa's going to get traded to SmackDown, but she's just going to show up as the goddess Alexa Bliss.
And what is she going to have?
A case of the Mondays!
Hey, he did it. He said the thing. Okay.
I said the thing.
And then the one thing his wife said that we should do is leave you all with a wrestling fact. Let you go talk to your homies about wrestling, and you'll know this one little fact so you can sound like you know what you're talking about. So here is your wrestling fun fact of the day. There has only been one wrestler to wrestle on both Leap Day shows, which is a pay-per-view on February 29th. It has happened twice. One in 1992 in WCW, one in 2020 in AEW. That one wrestler is Dustin Rhodes. He wrestled a tag team match in WCW Super Brawl in 1992. Let me see who it was. It was Steve Austin and Larry Zbyszko versus Barry Windham and Dustin Rhodes. And then he faced Sammy Guevara at Revolution. Nope, it wasn't Sammy Guevara, it was Jake Hager. He faced Jake Hager at Revolution on February 29th, 2020. So, fun little wrestling fact. Get you through the day. But this is we're going to cut off a little bit early because we ran so long on Monday. So very long. So, let me, Ethan, do you have anything else you want to say today?
No, just if you haven't watched wrestling this week, do yourself a favor, check some wrestling out. Feel free to follow us once again on a Forklift Pod on Twitter. You can follow myself at Jensen Collins 3 on Twitter, and you can follow Clinton at PK Batman on Twitter or PK Batman 420 on Twitch. You can catch the replays to this on channel Snickle Fritz on YouTube for the time being, and PK Batman 420 as well. If you any episodes that you've missed, they're all still on there. Feel free to go back and check out Monday's episode with Russ from Snow on Goalie, I believe.
Snow the Goalie.
Right? Snow the Goalie. It's Russ on Joy at Twitter on Twitter.
Admit, we appreciate having you. Not to cut you off, Ethan, but we appreciate having you, buddy. Thank you so much for showing up today.
Yep, more interaction like this. If you, Admit, have friends that you want to get into wrestling, feel free to send them our way. We're more than happy to talk to them, interact with them the same. I like talking with my hands.
I talk with my hands. I've also got Maven's theme playing in the background to play you the fuck off.
Then play me the fuck off. We're out of here. Thank you. This has been On a Forklift Podcast, episode 5, I believe.
Something like that.
I'm recovered. That's Clinton Davis. Love you, Judy.
Love you, Judy. You guys have a wonderful night. Play us off, Maven.
I can feel my words. I can